Today we're diving into a huge week for GTA 6. Pre-orders are about to go live and everyone wants to know, how expensive is this thing going to be? Plus, Chad Concelmo is in the house to talk all things Adventures of Elliot. And Xbox Chaos continues. Lost Game Pass subscribers, case-by-case exclusives, and more studio closures. Stick around for all that and more. Welcome, friends, to Good Playing with You, your weekly gaming news roundup. I'm Dan Whitehill, and we have a lot to talk about today, from GTA 6 pre-order speculation to the Adventures of Elliot and the latest round of Xbox Chaos. But before we jump in, let me introduce my crew with me today. First up, back in the co-host chair, we've got my buddy and gamer extraordinaire, Chad Concelmo.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome, Chad. Good to have you back again. I appreciate you hanging out with us.
So happy to be here.
And joining us this week, we've got returning guest and our weather correspondent, James Sheff.
Hey, happy to be here and glad we survived.
Yeah, I'm glad you could be here. For those of you who don't know, James is our Midwest correspondent and is undergoing some very interesting weather phenomena. So if his box or voice disappears from the podcast, we'll just wish him the best, and
we'll keep going.
Yeah. All right, with that out of the way, though, gentlemen, let's jump into the headlines of the week. We've got to start with GTA 6 because there's been a few headlines this week, and I've been dying to talk about them with someone, so I'm super pumped that you guys are here. First up, I'll start with the smaller one. GTA Online is getting a big summer reset. Starting yesterday, anyone who owns the older version of GTA Online on PS4 or Xbox One, or who bought it on there, can upgrade to the current gen version for free. And on PC, players can also move from the GTA 5 Legacy to GTA 5 Enhanced at no extra cost. So if you've been stuck on the older versions of the game, you're in luck because Rockstar is finally removing that paywall and shoving you to the current gen. And second, they announced a major new Heist update, the Courts Center Heist, and it's coming out in July. So it looks like Rockstar is still continuing to build on GTA Online while possibly nudging players off older consoles at the same time. So, gentlemen, what do you think this means? Will GTA Online keep getting support even after GTA 6 launches, or is this the big last hurrah for the game? Let's start with you, Concelmo.
I'm the worst person to start with it because I do not play GTA Online. I love GTA. I play all the games. I just don't play GTA Online. But I think these updates sound great. I'm always for free upgrades to new versions. I think that's great. I always support that. It's great for the player. The Heist stuff sounds cool. I read all about it. But yeah, no, I think this probably will be the last update, I'm guessing, until the new game launches. It's still a mystery if GTA 6 Online, or however that's going to work, is going to also launch in November. So that's still a mystery, but I don't know. So yeah, this feels like maybe the last hurrah for GTA Online, at least for this current version. A little last minute.
What about you, James? Do you play GTA Online, and what do you think this means for the future of it?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not the worst person to ask because I don't play it either. I haven't played a GTA since, I think, Vice City, to be perfectly honest. I played GTA 5, just not all the way through. But I don't know, definitely looking at this, my first thought, my brain just went to, well, the folks who've, been holding out of even buying a Series X or PS5, like, you're going to get them to go ahead and buy it so they have it ready for when GTA 6 comes out, so they're more likely to purchase it. So, but I just can't imagine that they continue to run this as GTA Online once GTA 6 comes out. So I think it's just kind of like that last big push, and this, maybe some fun content, and then they'll be off to the next thing.
Yeah, I'm curious to see too. One, I think what they're planning to do with GTA Online is probably not backwards compatible. They really want to get to this most recent gen because I think they're going to keep it online for a little bit longer. It's probably easier to support the current gen versus the last. But my thought is, I think they're going to keep this sucker around. We got a rumor that it was making like a couple million every week. Those hackers that happened in, I think, in February or something like that, and they tried to extort money out of Rockstar saying, we're going to release your financials. And then Rockstar was like, yeah, well, fucking go for it. And then they did, and we found out how much this thing made, and it really is a cash cow. And I just don't see them giving that cash cow up, especially after they didn't even make single-player DLC. They put everything into this thing for the past like 10 years or so, keeping this thing going. I can't imagine that they would get rid of it too quickly. I think the only thing that can kill GTA Online at this point, to be honest with you, is the monetization of GTA Online 6. That's what I'm just going to call it, because I don't know what Chad, like you said,
I don't know what to call it either.
Yeah. So if they can make more money off of GTA Online 6, well, God, like hopes, like I hope not, because they're making enough where it is here on the shark cards and that sort of stuff. Then I could see GTA Online going away. But I don't know. I think it sticks around. In fact, I'm guessing that this isn't the last update we'll see. They're waiting to see how many people transfer from this version to next version and play that one and what the money is on that one, and that will determine when this one goes. But I think it could still stick around and continue to get support, and I don't think they're going to shut off the tap of any content anytime soon because of those financials. I think there's a lot of like the revenue that they can still squeeze out of this one.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like, if they have a huge audience, like not everybody's going to jump to the next version of GTA Online. There's going to be people still playing the old version, and they're not going to want to get rid of that money. And also, they want the fans to be happy too. So that actually isn't a terrible idea. Not to bring this all back to Square Enix, but we have Final Fantasy 14, which is an online game, which is like our huge moneymaker. But we're still running Final Fantasy 11, which is another online game that came out way before it. But that game's still going strong. There's huge fans that are still playing it. And you'd think they'd all transition to 14, but no, there's this huge community in Final Fantasy 11 that still plays it. So this might be a similar situation where GTA Online is like their Final Fantasy 11, where it just sticks around forever. And then even though people are going to jump onto the new one, there's still that loyal group that plays the original. So that's a good point, actually. I think you might be right. I just think it's going to be weird because GTA Online is going to feel so dated when the new one comes out. But I don't know. I think people might appreciate it still and still stick around.
I don't know. I've played 11 and 14 of Final Fantasy, and 11 is certainly dated. I had no idea it was still running, to be perfectly honest. I've played a ton of 14. I'll date myself. I bought Final Fantasy 11, the Vana Deal collection or whatever it was, when I worked at Circuit City back in the day.
I love talking to you about this. You're the best guest to have one with me.
I had so much fun with those games. So yeah, I played a lot of 14, but yeah, I didn't know 11 was still going. So if people are still playing that,
still doing well. We have people that fans that still write us asking for things. Like the 11 community is huge, and you'd think that all of them would go to 14, but I think there's something about the nostalgia of it. They feel cool that they're like on the original, So I think that's one of the reasons that they're sticking around. But it's crazy.
All right, so Guild Wars did a remaster, so I'm just saying it's always an option for you.
Yeah, talk to someone there, Chad. I think you're right, though. I think it could be the situation where it's like when server costs outweigh the amount of money they could potentially make, that's when they're going to change things. For me, it makes sense to keep this going, especially when you consider, because I did play them. I played GTA 5, I bought all 3 versions because I'm an idiot for every console. I got suckered in every version. But I dipped into online several times. I bought several heists. I've got the submarine, and I've got the helicopter and all that sort of crap. Like I jump in on the free like $1 million weekends, which I highly recommend, which is fun. But I say all this to say I've had experience with this game over the years. And when this thing first launched, there was nothing to do in it. Like you could rob convenience stores with a mask. You could have like little skirmishes, but there was hardly anything. It has grown into a really impressive monster with a really horrible UI, which I hope they fix in the next one. But my thought is there's no way that GTA Online 6 can launch as feature rich as GTA Online. It can't, because there's so many years and so much content that they've built on it that they're not going to be in a hurry to get rid of that, because they can probably monetize more of that. Whereas it's going to take, 5 or so years. I just hope that they learned a lot from GTA Online, because it was pretty sparse in the beginning and kind of buggy. And to where we are now, it's a much better place in terms of things to do.
I'm not an online player in general, but like, I don't know if this is even possible, but I wonder if Rockstar can kind of like evolve the way this works and maybe somehow transfer everyone over to the new version. Is that even possible? Like,
well, that's my next question for you guys, is like, you hit the nail on the head. Like, so obviously there's got to be some sort of unlocks or transfers or something. What's going to happen between GTA Online and GTA Online 6? Sorry to cut you off, but that's totally what I was thinking.
No. We're this, great minds think alike. I'm really curious to see if they have some crazy plan to kind of like get everyone over and like not necessarily maybe free, but like maybe you can transfer over a lot of your vehicles, a lot of your stuff that you already have collected in the other version, just to motivate you to want to play the new one. Because you're right, there's people that have been playing GTA Online for like a decade now, and they're not going to want to give up all their shit. Like, no way. Like, they're going to want to hold on to that. So there's probably going to be some enticing way for them to keep some of their stuff and move over to the new one. So I'm really curious. Even though I don't play online games, I'm very curious to see how this all works.
I hope so. And I was thinking maybe that's why that they forced everyone to the current gen, because anything that you
Right.
unlock or any account system has to be on this current gen to match GTA 6 online. That was the only thought of why they were pushing them onto it. But I sure hope they're unlocks. Like, what are your thoughts on that, James? What would you like to see, carry over, or do you think anything will?
I think they'll have to, right? I mean, there's no way you can have folks, there's got to be a few of those whales out there that are spending a ton of money on all the microtransactions and everything. And yeah, Dan, sounds like maybe you're one of them, but
I was going to say Dan White.
nobody's going to want to lose all of that stuff. And so they're going to, like you said, they're going to have to entice them or yeah, they'll stick with it long term because I got all this cool stuff over here. I don't want to start over.
Yeah. All right. But also crazy, we have to talk about next week, which everyone cannot wait for because GTA 6 pre-orders will finally start. So that's the other big story I want to talk to you guys. The pre-orders officially go live next Thursday on June 25th. Rockstar confirmed the date on the game's official website, which also lists that it will be launching for PS5 and Xbox Series as the launch platforms. So no, we still don't have PC in the mix yet, but we are finally getting to the next big milestone. And this really is sounding like, I don't want to jinx us, but it's not sounding like there are going to be any more delays. And we'll definitely be talking about it on the pod next week. But this week, I want to know, like, what do you guys, I asked this to like every guest that comes on the pod. So I have to ask you guys, what do you think the price is going to be? And will GTA Online be bundled or will it come separately at a different price? James, let's start with you.
I hate to say this because I do value games at like how much enjoyment do I think I'm going to get, right? A $50, $60 game, but I'm going to play 10, 15, 20 hours, the value proposition there to like a movie for 2 hours, they're worth the money to me. And so given the amount of time that people play these GTA games and how much content is there and so many things to do, I could absolutely see them going into that $80, $90 range and trying to like kind of start there and then still have add-ons on top of it. And I, I hate to say, but almost would feel justified because of the amount of entertainment value and enjoyment you're going to get out of it.
I mean, here's the crazy thing. They could charge any amount for this game and people would buy it. I'm not saying they're going to go to 250, like that would be crazy, but they could do 100. Everyone's rumoring saying that they're like there's going to be 100. I still don't think they're going to go that high. That number, 3 digits, feels so out of touch, and I think that that's like right over the edge where they're going to start losing some people. So I agree with James. I think 80 is the sweet spot. That's kind of already been established by other companies as like a premium game, $80. So I don't think they're going to go higher than that. I think they're going to stick to it. They're still going to make billions of dollars on 80. So like I don't think they're going to be too greedy. But I also know that those finance people are sitting in those Rockstar offices and they're looking at those numbers and they're saying, how high can we push the needle
Yes,
until it makes people fall off? Like they're going to push it as high as they possibly can. So maybe 89.99, who knows? But my gut tells me $80. And with the pre-orders next week, it being a guy who works in PR, has worked in PR for a very long time, I know the way beats work, and I feel like a new trailer is going to drop on pre-order day because they want people really to be motivated to get, because that's what we do. I've done that before at Nintendo. I've done that before at Square Enix, because when pre-orders go live, you want people to be very, very motivated to pre-order and get really excited. So you can't just do that with a tweet. You got to do that with something significant. So my guess is that when pre-orders go live, there'll also be a new trailer. But so like, I don't know. So next week, I guess we'll know. But my guess, and I'm putting money on this, is $80. That's my guess. I'm curious to see what you think, Dan.
Well, do you think that comes with GTA Online 6 bundled in?
Good question. No, actually, I think that's going to be separate. I have a feeling GTA Online 6 is going to be so massive and crazy that's going to be just completely different skew. Maybe but again, I don't know how GTA Online worked. Dan, maybe you can educate me. Was that included in the price of GTA 5?
It was.
Okay, well then maybe it is going to be included. Damn, that just seems like so much stuff for $80, but who knows? I don't know. maybe I'm now I'm kind of doubting my $80 guess, but like I still feel like the base game is going to be $80. It just makes sense to me. I don't know. That's just my guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm flip-flopping. I'm flip-flopping between everything at $70 so that they can look good, get a great marketing beat,
right,
and be the heroes, knowing that they're going to get a wider install and make money from, like Jabe said, on the whales, if they can do something like that. They've also got the opportunity to do bundles. So if they don't, but just going back to the $70, if they really want to be greedy, they could say $90 or something like that, or $100, and say it comes with GTA 6 and GTA Online 6.
Right.
So they could justify a higher price there. And you're right. Damn you, Nintendo, for pushing out that $80, price tag. They could definitely go that direction too. And you're right. They could do whatever they want. But I definitely see bundles coming here too. And that's one thing that, we haven't really heard much, but there's going to be collector's editions. There's going to be $100 version that's going to include what they have, a shark card. Like, they've got to have a new name for the shark card, because I can't imagine that your currency would transfer over. So it's got to be like, I don't know, some lion card or some other animal. I don't know, but it's going to transfer over. It won't transfer over the money. So it's going to probably come. All these bundles are going to come with some sort of financial incentive online. I don't think online launches day and date. It's got to be at least a month after, so that GTA is going to get 2 hits in terms of releases. And I think that there's going to be some ridiculous versions too. There's going to be a $250 version. Maybe it comes with
a collector's edition, of course.
Yes, or like some sort of swim trunks, and
it'll have like a thong.
Bag yeah, exactly.
And some pasties.
Total pasties.
I mean, all jokes aside, Rockstar would probably do something like that because it's tongue in cheek. That's what Grand Theft Auto is. So I can see them doing a collector's edition with some outrageous items, like a shot glass. That would be really cool.
Right. I know that was the joke why shark cards are called shark cards, is because they were making fun of the fact that people call the big spenders whales. So I'm like, I don't know what their joke is, but they got to rename it. I like.
Well, they should just call it whale cards and just go all in.
I thought whale card when you said that. I was like, why not?
I know, why hide it?
I know, right? I mean, they could really just put it all out there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really curious.
Listen, knowing these pre-orders are happening and seeing the cover art, which I'm sure you're going to get to in a second, it sounds like it's really happening. November sounds real. I don't think I'm jinxing it at all. It sounds like it's actually happening. I mean, and listen, there's insiders that must know something, because every single game publisher has moved their game out of November. So I think people know something that we might not even. So I think it's actually coming. We're going to be playing that game for real in 5 months, which is crazy to think. So yeah, I'm stoked, man. I can't wait to talk to you about it once it comes out.
Of course. Well, fingers crossed it just turns out to be as big and as good as we all hope it's going to be. And if I could just get 60 frames per second, I don't mean to be that snob, but man, if we could get this awesome, massive, or they're probably going to hang on to 60 frames per second till the next generation. And that's where they're going to force assholes like me to buy it.
Of course, Dan, you just said, for the public record, that you've bought GTA 5 3 times. So Rockstar's listening to this and they're like, well, we're going to make sure we push this as long as possible. So Dan will buy this 3 times.
I know. Oh man, that guarantees 30 frames, and we're not going to get 60 frames till next generation when we're all buying $1,200 machines. I will say the only
positive thing about 30 frames, the gameplay should be 60 frames, I agree, but there's something about cinematics that be in 30 frames that actually do look really cool. But I agree, I like the cinematics in 30 frames, but I do like the gameplay in 60 frames. So it'll be a bummer if it's in 30 frames. I agree.
Okay, art snob, I can see your different frame rate and 24 frames for your movies, and I understand, go for it. But I agree, when I'm running around a world, I want as many frames, or at least 60. So it just looks a lot smoother. Anyway, speaking of games that look fantastic and run smoothly, let's talk about the Adventures of Elliot, my friend. We've got Chad Concelmo here, and I want to talk about this game because I've been enjoying it, and I know we touched on it briefly with the Nintendo Showcase, but now that it's been released, we can go in depth. And I think it's a really fun. It's a brand new action RPG from Square Enix, built in a beautiful HD 2D style fans know from games like Octopath Traveler, with a much more action-focused feel, which speaks to people like me because I like to stab. The game follows Elliot and his fairy companion Faye on a journey across 4 different ages, mixing real-time combat, exploration, puzzle solving, and a big fantasy story that spans centuries, actually. It launched this week on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. And the early critical response has been strong. Last time I checked, it was an 82 on Metacritic. So congrats on that, because that's an awesome score. And rather than doing a normal roundup review today like we do on the pod, I thought it would be more fun to just go straight to you, Chad, and hear about what this game is about, and then assault you with questions. James and I will just pepper you with questions. So Chad, congrats, and also I'd love to know, how's this week been releasing a game like this? It's got to be really exciting.
Busy. I don't want to bog everyone down with my schedule, but yeah, this whole month has been really busy between Summer Games Fest and the launch of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth right before Summer Games Fest, and now we're launching Elliot. It's been very busy, but we love seeing the good reviews. 82 on Metacritic is great. We're very, very happy with that. And yeah, the game is awesome. It's basically a Zelda clone. I was going to try to think of some other language I could use, but I'm just going to flat out say it.
I'm glad you said it because I was going to find a way to say that, but I didn't want to say it.
We've been tiptoeing around it throughout the whole campaign, but like even some of our developers have kind of let it slip in some of their interviews, so it's fine. I'm going to say it. It is a 2D Zelda clone. It's the HD 2D style. It's the first. Most of the HD 2D games we've released so far have all been like turn-based RPGs. So this is the first game we've kind of done a new genre in. But yeah, if you love 2D Zelda games like Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds, all those old school Zelda games, which I personally do, those are my favorites, you will love this game. It has very similar style. There's dungeons where you get an item and you use the item to beat the dungeon. There's bosses. You know where I'm going with this. Again, we're not hiding the love of Zelda. I don't want to say we're copying it. We love Zelda. It's a passion project. There are boomerangs, there's bombs, there's a hammer. I mean, like it is that much of a love letter to Zelda. So if you like those kind of games, I highly recommend it. It's really fun. There's voice acting too, which kind of sets it apart a little bit from Zelda. There's a really interesting story with time travel, as Dan hinted at. But yeah, it's been a great week. We're very happy to see the review scores. People seem to be really excited about it. And it runs great on all the systems. So if you own any of those systems that Dan mentioned, you'll get a good experience. Because one thing that's cool about HD 2D is it doesn't, it's not as powerful as something like GTA 6. So it runs very smoothly on all the systems. So at 60 frames, speaking of frame rates.
Yeah, so, I love it. I'm sold. I'm in.
Thank you again for letting me talk about it a little bit. I'm very proud of it. It's a great game, and I hope you're enjoying it, Dan. So let me know if you have any questions or no, hopefully no criticisms. We're all just like zoinking out of here.
No, definitely. I am enjoying it. First off, I got to say, really impressive was how huge the demo was and how much content there's there. So if anyone out there listening is interested potentially in Zelda and wants to know more about this game, then feel free to grab the demo because it's what really sold me on the action. And I loved the look of Octopath Traveler, but I'm not like a menu-based sort of turn-based fighter. And so having this opportunity to do action was fun. I really liked the fact that it does the combo counter, so like I have an incentive not to get hit because then I can get more rewards by staying agile and not getting too lazy. One of the things I wanted to say I really love about the game is being someone who lives in a Zelda world. Like talking's great and I love to meet the people, but then I get a little tired of it and I just want action or something like that. And what's awesome about this game, it's a small tweak, quality of life thing, is after you've talked to someone in the town with all these people, you get a little check mark next to their box so you don't have to talk to them again. And that is huge for me because I get paranoid I'm going to miss something, but at the same time, I don't want to talk. I want to go murder. So if I just talk to them one time, get the check mark, then I'm good. Dan, so I totally appreciate that.
That is I'm so glad you said that because Team Asano, who makes these HD2D games, they also have done that in Octopath Traveler and other of their games. They have that checkbox. That's like a thing for them. And I agree. It's so great because I'm like you too. I want to talk to everybody, but I don't want to, once I start a dialogue and they're saying the same thing, I'm like, oh, God damn it. And I'm like, I hit the button so fast.
Right.
That checkbox, you can be like, it's nice to see you, give them a little wave and move on to another person. So I agree. Little stuff like that helps the gameplay so much. So thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it.
No problem. One thing I thought was a little funny about the game is the currency is called Tool, and that's what you find in a lot of like these hidden chests. And the great thing is like the hidden chests like pop up on the map. So it's like, okay, how do I get there? Like it's one of those games where they give you a flag. You don't get like led by the nose. Like you have to figure a way to get there. But because you're an adventurer, you're like, okay, that flag is the last place I'm going to go. And you kind of go all over the map trying to explore and find different things. And I found like this skills dungeon, which I really liked, where you had to like do skills and then you get like a reward, and the currency is called Tool. And so every time I get it, then the princess comes on and she says something like, just be careful where you spend all this Tool. And it's like, wait a minute, is she calling me a tool? Like every time I feel like she's insulting me, calling me a tool every time I open the chest. I swear to God, I'm like, this bitch.
And I have to tell you something. It's a secret that nobody knows. the currency is not called Tool except in your version of the game because they want to because we programmed it so only Dan would be called the Tool over and over again. I went into the development studio and I was like, okay, this specific game for Dan, we're gonna start calling him a Tool over and over, but nobody else that plays the game gets that experience.
I appreciate that. I definitely picked up on that, so I truly appreciate it. No, I had a great time with this. It does feel like Zelda, but there are new elements to this, which I enjoyed. I loved, of course, all the different like things that you can put on your weapons. So if you're not like I love to level up in games, and this is a traditional one, but they give you all sorts of ornaments and like gems and things you can put on there to do different things. So I loved that. And then not only that, you get some other like abilities and things like that on a separate box and stuff that you can mix and match and you can earn inside the world. So lots of power-ups and things and combos and stuff to play with. So that I really love experimenting with and seeing different play styles and what I can unlock on that one. So cool factor there. And the only thing, and I have seen this online, so it's not me, but I gotta say,
you might be saying the same thing I was gonna say in a second, but we'll see. We'll see if we match.
Yeah. All right. Well, the princess is a little chatty. And there's even a setting. I went into the settings and you can move her like from talkative to not so talkative or whatever. And I'm still like, damn, that's any point of opportunity for improvement is that she is chatty AF.
Well, the positive spin I'll say on this is that when we released the original demo, which was a year ago, a little like maybe 9 months ago, before this recent demo, that was a very short demo. That was kind of for the developers to get player feedback. And the number one piece of player feedback we got was the fairy is very talkative.
Yes.
And so that toggle that you referenced, where it makes her less talkative, that actually was added because of the original demo. So the developers are listening. So even with that, though, we have heard some criticisms in some of the reviews that she's still a little chatty. So again, I'm not revealing anything here. I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe in a future update there'll be another toggle that goes even farther with her. But that actually wasn't what I was going to say. What I was going to say is some people also really want a roll button, like they want a dodge roll button.
I wasn't going to say anything about that because I'm only like halfway through, and I was hoping I was going to be able to unlock it with some of those powers I was talking about.
I won't spoil it. There is something you get an ability that is similar to that, so it actually helps. But even with that, though, I'm so used to Zelda games where I can run around and just like roll with Link over and over again, and like it just makes it feels easier, and like that's something I think people are missing. But you will get an ability, Dan, later that will kind of replicate that, but it's not exactly that. But that's another criticism we're hearing, so I just wanted to call that out. So just in case people want to play, they go in with it manages their expectations.
Well, it does everything else. So that's the only thing and it doesn't even really bother me. I just had to tease you about something.
No, I'm glad you said something because everyone else has been teasing us about it too for months.
James, what about you? Any thoughts, any questions for Chad? Anything you want to tease him about?
So many things in my head right now that I had to make some notes. But so I've had a friend that actually kind of told me, he's like, dude, you got to go play the demo of this game. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. And he knows I loved Octopath Traveler. The HD2D stuff is like my jam all day. And so I love that so much. I hear you talk about the chatty fairy, and all I can think is, hey, listen, Navi.
It's like that, but she talks even more. Sorry.
So yeah, I love that style. I got to say, yeah, it is. Okay, it's a Zelda clone, whatever. I can definitely feel that. But the game that it really reminds me most of, because I have played some of the prologue demo, and like I'm going to have to get it, but for Father's Day, I spent like $140 on books on Prime Day the other day. So won't go down that rabbit hole, but I will say the thing that it reminds me of, and a game that was very near and dear to my heart, was Legend of Mana back in the day. And it had a very cool weapon upgrade system. And I'm seeing some of that here. And it's just, there's everything about this that's absolutely going to get my money for sure. It might be next couple weeks, and I can jump. Like, I know they want to roll, whatever.
Yeah,
but dude, I can jump.
I know.
Dude, I'm sold.
And James, the fact that you said the Mana games, I literally, for people that are watching this on video, I literally sat back in my chair. I was so proud. The developers actually have said that. Like, it basically is a Mana-inspired game with a lot of Zelda in it as well. The developers are massive fans of the early Mana games, which I am as well, like Secret of Mana, Legend of Mana, Visions of Mana. So, like, you saying that, it was music to my ears. So, like, I appreciate you saying that, and I'm glad you also picked that up because that is their inspiration, and I agree. It feels like a combination of Mana and Zelda. So if you're listening to this episode and you like both those games, and you're in for a treat. So yes, thank you for saying that, James.
Yeah, I'm a lover of turn-based, but when I saw this one, and I remember back to Legend of Mana with my spear, just running around there and capturing, I think it was the spirits and whatnot to upgrade the weapons, man. And I replayed through that a few years ago, and it's just, I'm very excited to dive into this one. And so there's co-op, right? Because is it like a couch co-op kind of deal?
Kind of. It's like it's a little. It's not like there's two players on the screen, but but yeah, there is like a co-op feature that you can play with people. So if you have a family, you could like have someone play with you, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I've got an 11-year-old that loves these games, and then my 17-year-old has played Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, an insane amount of hours, and so being able to dive into this one with them, because I'll probably get it on the Steam Deck, but they have a Switch too, and it's there will be multiple copies purchased, I imagine. So.
Oh, well, that's great.
And that's what one of the things, not to totally kiss your ass here.
I love this. I'm like, do you have anything to say about my looks, like the way I'm dressed? Like, come on, please. Like, I'm feeling good. Like hyping me up.
No, one of the things I was gonna say though, like not to kiss your butt, but it's only $60, right? So it's a nice price. Like, isn't that right?
Yeah, I think it actually might be $50. It's either 50 or 60. But yes, I should know this. I'm so sorry. But yeah, no, it is definitely more like it's definitely more like we're not going crazy. It's not $70 or $80. I'll say that. But yeah. Oh my God, I should know the price. I feel so bad that I don't.
I guess my last question is, now that I'm pretty far into it, like how big is it? How many hours is it?
It's pretty good. I would say it's probably like 30 hours, probably. Maybe like the main story, and then like if you want to do the side quest, maybe like 50 hours. That's might be pushing it a little bit, but it's definitely meatier than Zelda, regular Zelda, 2D Zelda game. I think that's something like Team Asano, who makes all these HD 2D games, they are so used to making these massive 80-hour long RPGs. So when they were making an action RPG, they were like, okay, it's short for our standards, but it's still a little longer, but it's definitely meaty. There's a lot to do. And of course, since there's 4 time periods too, there's a lot of re-exploring new places. So the game is definitely long, and there's a lot to do. So you'll definitely get your money's worth. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I felt that, especially even in the beginning when you start getting the side quest missions, and this lady's like, "Oh, I'm a gardener, but I lost my hat," and I'm like, "Yes, lady, yes, I will go find your hat," and I just kind of warp over there and kill some enemies, get the hat, and come back. You know what I mean? So I've been enjoying that, and I was like, "Oh, this game must be pretty big if they've got side quests like that."
Yeah, it's pretty big. So that's great for people that are looking for a nice meaty summer adventure. That sounded really weirdly gross, but it is a meaty summer adventure. So please enjoy it and please play it. And I'm very excited about people to be able to check it out now.
That's got to end up on some marketing copy somewhere. A meaty summer adventure.
We'll put it on the back of the box.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. There's a lot of meat on the bone. Just say that.
That's better. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's move on to a story that isn't quite as happy. Let's talk about the craziness that's happening at Xbox, which is no surprise because it seems like Xbox has been a dumpster fire for a good decade or two now. All right, so I've got a roundup of a few stories, 3 stories, and I want to get all your opinions on each one. The first one is a quote that came out at the end of last week that Xbox lost millions of Game Pass subscribers when they hiked the price. So basically, it was kind of surprising when Matthew Ball, who was speaking at the Game Business Live, said the service, quote, shed millions of subscribers over the span of a few months, end quote, after the October 2025 jump from $20 to $30 per month for Ultimate. Xbox has since lowered that price, of course, to $23, but Ball says the service is still more expensive than it was before. So basically, yes, the price hike hurt, and Xbox is now acknowledging it publicly. So what did you guys think about him publicly announcing this and talking about losing subscribers? Was it music to your ears, hey, they hurt us, or is it they still have more to learn? Or how does that and do you guys still feel with this $23 that it's still one of the best deals in gaming? Concelmo, let's go to you first.
I think it's kind of a little bit of both things you mentioned. I think it's great when executives are transparent. I think it's great when they admit that they might have made a mistake and that they suffered the consequences for that. And I know you, Dan, and everyone on the podcast has basically said we quit Game Pass once the price went up. You guys were very adamant about that, and I was very proud of you that you stuck to your guns. But
Now, to be clear, I banked a bunch of months, but I did quit. I did cancel it.
I know, but
banked,
still, but you were saying that if the price didn't go down, you were going to officially quit it, just like Maldi and everyone else did. So I
yes.
think that was great. I totally admire that, and I think a lot of other people listened to you as well. Obviously, they lost millions of people, and I knew that was going to happen. So I think it's good that they admitted that they made a mistake and that they lowered the price and that they're learning from their mistakes. But I don't know. I don't have Game Pass, so I don't know if it's the best deal in gaming. But to me, that sounds amazing. Like, I love the concept of paying $23. I mean, again, I know that's a lot for some people, but $23 is not that much, especially with how expensive games are now. And to be able to play so many games just at the drop of a hat, like for that much a month, is pretty darn good. So again, I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens in the future, but I feel like they're on the right track and they lowered the price and hopefully they'll get their audience back. But I think Game Pass sounds great. And I think I'm happy that they're listening, I think, ?
All right, James, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I was one of the ones. I mean, I used to buy, get the cards or whatever and kind of bank some time up myself. And when it ran out, we let it go as well. Even my 17-year-old who, played Fortnite a lot was like, okay, yeah, we can let it go. And we stayed, off of it for a few months. When they dropped the price back down, that coincided with Forza Horizon 6. We both kind of wanted to play it. And it was like, okay, for $24, I can try it, right, and sink as much time into it as I want to versus buying a $60, $70 game. And then there's other stuff out there that we can go and play. So, the price of admission was far lower. And Forza Horizon 6 is amazing. I, love driving around Japan. And, my youngest has a dream to go to Japan one day. I'm like, well, I can get you close for right now. I'll do the best I can. But yeah, I think it's a great value. I don't know from a business perspective and from the developers, like how that hits them and affects the quality of games that we get as gamers, whether in the long term for gaming, it's the best thing in the world. I'm not in the gaming industry. I'm a tech guy though. And, just looking at it from what I understand to be the business perspective, the value proposition to me is great for $24.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's definitely an improvement, and it seems like a bigger deal, and maybe that was our plan the whole time. Conspiracy brain here to raise it so high that if they
Lord's here with us today.
Yeah, exactly. I'm channeling Lord, and he would say their goal was $23 all along, but they didn't think people were going to go for it, so they raised it so high that $23 seems like a good deal. And I would have to say it could be, but I don't know. We all know that the management over there just has been in chaos for the past decade or so. So I don't think that they're that smart, unfortunately, but it worked out in their favor here. I got to be honest with you. I still think Game Pass is great, but I don't think it's going to grow at $23 as fast as it would at $19.99. Game Pass is bloated. It has a bunch of bullshit it doesn't need on there, like Fortnite, the pass, and then all of the Ubisoft crap, because we already bought it when it was on sale. They've got so many different pieces of Game Pass that they could chip away at and get this price a little bit lower. They're not going to grow, except, as James pointed out, in between big releases. That's when people are going to come in, and it's going to be a peaks and valleys sort of situation that they've created on their own, because they're not going to grow with these small releases unless they get a nice surprise like Pal World, if they're not going to have a nice price. Yeah, $23 is fine, but it's not as sweet sounding as $19.99, which is where I really think it would be. And if it went back to that, then they could regain their title of the best value of gaming. But as of right now, I still think, obviously, they're trying to figure it out with taking Call of Duty off. That was a great move. Like, figure your shit out, see what you want to do. You got to keep that price low. No, like, people were burned out on Call of Duty a lot this time anyway. So, like, you've got a different sort of problem that you need to fix here. It all comes down to the big thing here. If Xbox, like, I know that people are making all sorts of comments about how it's good for the industry or bad for the industry, and it helps developers that are smaller, but it hurts the big developer. You know what? If you're the head of Xbox, you got to give a big middle finger to everyone and say, screw you, because without Game Pass, Xbox is dead. I don't think I see the audience hanging around. And I know for sure as shit, the only reason I have an Xbox is because of Game Pass. And the second the Game Pass goes away for good, I'm out of there, man, because I can get those games so much cheaper on PC. I can get them on the Switch, of course, and I can get them on PlayStation. I've got so many other alternatives. The only thing that makes Xbox different is the Game Pass. And if they don't tell everyone to fuck off and protect their crown jewel, if they're not smart enough to do that, then fuck, man, they need to get out of the console business anyway. So that's where I feel about that one.
I mean, to be honest, I think, though, what's interesting with Game Pass and where I think they're headed is as console prices continue to go up, RAM prices spin out of control so that people can make videos of dancing gorillas or whatever it is that they're putting out on the internet with Nano Banana. It's going to be all about the streaming gaming, right? So Stadia tried it early. I think Luna or something's out there now, but Game Pass and I think I said before that I played through all the Gears of War games up to 5, streaming them to my Steam Deck. And so as people have less powerful hardware, being able to pay $24, $25 and stream these games, not have to install anything, not have to download anything. I think that's where they've really been pushing to go for quite some time. And this is just really a step in that direction too.
But I think I could see them decoupling the two and saying, look, you want to stream your library that you own, you have to give us $10 a month, right, and then making that completely separate, then have a library of games that rotate in and out. So I agree. I think, streaming is the future for people who don't want to buy a console, but I do think there is like, you got to be the Netflix and you got to be bold and you got to do your own thing and you've got to tell people to shut up. And they've got a huge value here. And I think that they are diminishing it by some of the deals and ideas and things and the infighting that's going on right now. And it just really is hurting them. So it doesn't look good. And I don't think anyone is smart enough to realize how important that is to their console.
Yeah. You can't be everything to everyone,
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. So speaking of exclusives, though, and getting people to jump in on Game Pass for peaks and valleys and all that sort of bullshit, let's talk about their latest strategy that Xbox exclusives are now, quote, case by case. So this is the second story I had for you guys. It sounds like Xbox still hasn't fully committed to what its future looks like. New Xbox CEO Asha Sharma says the company is still reevaluating exclusives and that these are long-term decisions she doesn't want to rush. At the same time, Xbox's own June 10th reset memo she sent out says players should expect, quote, signature exclusives, end quote, every year, and specifically points to Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution as examples. So the message right now is exclusivity is not dead. It's not exactly back 100% either, and it's looking like it could be more of a case-by-case basis. So what do you guys think about this? Is this just towing the middle ground, and does it do enough to get an audience excited about your console? Or is this what they should have done all along? James, let's start with you.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely feels like they're kind of just like wanting to straddle the fence and not really make a decision. I mean, I was a PlayStation guy for a very, very long time. And then Halo 2 came out and I bought an Xbox, and that was back in the day. That was the reason that I went down and purchased an Xbox from GameStop and probably traded in some certain amount of stuff just to get some extra credit towards it. But I don't know. I think something like Gears of War E-Day and these types of things will absolutely be the thing to make me go, all right, well, I guess I do need one of those if I can't play it on PC, because that's one I'm going to want to play when it comes out. And I don't know. I think that exclusivity has always been at the heart of like why you would pick one over the other, because otherwise, why am I going to buy a PS5 and an Xbox versus building a PC or purchasing a PC? Because the combined cost of those equals it. And I can play those on PC and then have all this other utility. I don't know. I think that if they're going to do this right, they're going to need to get some great exclusives and really stick to it.
I agree. Chad, what are your thoughts?
I agree with everything James said. Like, it's so like exclusives sell hardware. Like, it's so simple almost. I mean, it's not that simple, but it is that simple sometimes. Like, just as to use a little anecdote about my own life, like when Ori and the Blind Forest came out, like I guess that was Xbox One, maybe. Like I haven't owned an Xbox since Xbox 360. I'm so sorry, Dan. Please don't ban me.
No, it's completely understandable.
Just because I get all, because I know every game's on all the systems, and I just play everything on PlayStation or PC. But like when Ori came out, I'm such a Metroidvania fan, and I almost bought an Xbox One just for that indie game, like, because I wanted to play it so bad. And like, if I almost bought a multi-$100 system just for one indie game, that just shows you how powerful exclusives are. So I think that it's like to both your points, they just need a really strong library of exclusives, and it's absolutely gonna convince people to buy an Xbox. Like if this Halo game comes out and it's like the best reviewed Halo game since the originals, and people are like, this is like a must play, absolutely that's going to help sell consoles. So I don't know. It's not that simple, I know, but it almost feels that simple when you really step back and think about it. Like exclusive sell hardware. Nintendo's been doing it for years. PlayStation's been doing it for years. Don't make a sassy comment about PlayStation, Dan. I know you're about to. but they do. Like they have games that are only on their systems, and it really helps sell them. So I think Xbox needs to embrace that. So hopefully this is the start of that moving forward. It's a little bummer for me because I only own a PlayStation and a PC and a Switch, so I won't be able to play these games. But again, that's the point. Maybe I will buy an Xbox if they keep coming out with some really good exclusives. So I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of a long answer, but I think that is the way to go for them.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And I think you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head when it comes to all of that. But they seem to not really understand that in mass. And everyone who works there, they're not willing to forego, the revenue that they could make on another one to build their system. And then they sit around like crying that their system's not selling and that they don't understand why. And this is exactly why. So I'm kind of sick of hearing them, like talk about the business and what they're losing and all that sort of stuff. When Satya Nadella comes out and he says something like this week where he's like, well, the YouTubers who play our Xbox games are making more money than we are off our games. You know what? I'm like, yeah, buddy. And that's your fucking fault. You know what I mean? So I don't feel sorry for them because they don't seem to know how to run a video game company. And it's just kind of getting tiring and bullshit. So hopefully, someone over there starts to figure it out, and they're willing to take a risk and forego some of the money now to really lay the foundation. My guess is they'll eventually figure this out, or they'll just be shut down. Who knows? Because it's still crazy over there. And that's the last thing I want to talk about is, Xbox is currently closing some studios that they purchased, and we all know they went on a huge binge right around COVID and stuff, but it's coming back to haunt them. So it's not a very good, story here. Basically, following that same reset memo that Asha Sharma sent out, multiple reports are saying Xbox is now moving to shrink its studio system. The Verge reports that Ninja Theory is being shut down, while Compulsion Games and Double Fine are in active talks about being spun off rather than staying inside Xbox. The official memo said that Xbox had overextended with its studio system and needed to reassess investment priorities over the next 5 years. So this looks like an Xbox trying to focus harder on fewer, bigger bets, but at a real human cost. So what do you guys think about this? Does this sound like smart business discipline, like buckling down, or are they not understanding how some of this business works? And this is a problem fundamentally with management. James, let's go to you again.
Yeah, I mean, my initial reading, again, I'm not in the industry, but it just feels like misplaced blame and a lot of lack of accountability to the right people. And it's much easier to cut there than in the places that they should. And it's like, oh shit, we got to balance the books. Let's figure out how to do it. And then unfortunately, great studios get the shaft on that whole deal for sure. And then we get lackluster games. We buy less. Like that's just a bad cycle to get into.
Yeah, Chad.
This is where I have to be careful. I love our Xbox partners. They're wonderful. They support us on all of our games. We release all of our games on Xbox.
I don't want to get you in trouble, so if you can't
No. I won't get in trouble. Like this is just my honest opinion. I don't like any of this. I think it's really gross. It makes me sad. I think they're making really bad decisions with this. These are amazing studios with amazing people. And I don't know. I never like this. And this is not just an Xbox thing. That's why I'm okay talking about this. Like, this is just an industry thing right now. It's like all these the industry is just laying off studios, laying off people here and there. And I'm like, oh, do you not want us to make amazing games? Like, well, I don't understand. Like, we need this diversity of people and different studios. Like, it's just like, I don't understand what's going on. Even when I step back after I calm down after being angry about this and I step back and think about this from a business perspective, I still don't even understand it. Like,
agreed.
I don't understand what money they're saving. I don't understand like how limiting your portfolio is helping your business. I don't know. I think I just have so many conflicting thoughts on this, and I don't want to go on too much of a rant, but I almost would love to sit down with some people from Xbox or any studio that does this or any big company that does this and just really understand why they're doing this. They have these executive talking points that they say, but they're such generic statements that it doesn't really get to the heart of like what's really going on. So I guess I just really wanted to get more information to really understand this. It bums me out. It bummed me out this week. It bums me out every time I hear this. So yeah, I'm not feeling too good about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And for me, this just reeks of bad management again. Like, sorry to be such a dick here, but here's the solution. Here's the fucking solution. The real answer to both problems that they have with their exclusives and their studios is the same thing. If you look at what film did, like when Disney would make an R-rated movie or something like that, well, they released it on Buena Vista or One Other Arm or something like that because it wasn't part of the Disney brand. It wasn't what they represent and what they didn't want to be known for that. So they created a whole other company to do the movies and release the movies that they wanted to do. And I don't understand why they can't create another shell company here that houses some of these things, maybe even Blizzard. I don't know, an Activision or whatever. And look, every game that comes out of this shell company can go to all of these platforms, but everything that's branded Xbox Studios, that's your exclusive, and it's a clear line. So that fixes that. But the real problem Xbox has is it is addicted to drama. The first thing Asha Sharma should have done is get every motherfucking executive in there to sign an NDA because they need to shut the hell up. They are their own worst enemy. Like I said, Satya Nadella made a zinger of a comment about his own company, and that's not helping anything. When they talk about how many millions they lost of Game Pass, that's not helping anything. They need to shut the up. Does Sony make these comments about their business? No, we don't even know the executives at Sony. They're not celebrities like these people are because they're going out there and they're talking and they're getting... Stop talking. Stop doing these interviews. Your bad press is a result of your mouth and you need to shut it because that's essentially the root of their problem. I hate to make this analogy, but to lighten it for 1 second, they're like Lindsay Lohan in like the 2010s or whatever. They like had a once promising career. They were doing great. And then they started going to clubs and hanging out with Paris Hilton and drinking too much. And basically they just got addicted to their names in the tabloids all the time. It's like when you got a dysfunctional family and you just grew up in it and they're just used to it and they don't know how to solve it. And they think just any headlines, any press is good press. That's not the case. That's not reality. Grow up, be adults, run your company the right way, and shut the hell up. That is my advice. Sorry, I ranted a little bit there. You can tell me if I'm crazy. You can tell me to fuck off.
I actually don't disagree with anything you're saying. It's like at one point you were so intense and I was like, I started feeling guilty. I was like, I don't even work for Microsoft. I almost like, damn, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm upset that I criticize Microsoft at this point. I don't even work there.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to lighten it up by comparing them to Lindsay Lohan.
Listen, I hear what you're saying. Don't ever slut shame in Lindsay Lohan. She's amazing.
I didn't say anything about sex. She can have all the sex she wants.
I'm totally kidding. No. I totally get what you're saying. And honestly, like, listen, Microsoft has so much money. Like, I don't understand why any of this is even happening. Like, I understand Xbox is a different division. I understand that totally. But like, it'd be different if this was like some small studio we're talking about and they're trying to make all these financial decisions because they're like in over their head. But like, I don't know. It's a giant money pit. Like, why are we having all these issues? It just is, I don't know. I just don't understand it again. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree. I think there are too many cooks in the kitchen pulling too many things. We hear about their necessary revenue here and there. Look, I think being spun off would be the best thing that could ever happen to them because clearly Microsoft is a company that doesn't understand entertainment and Xbox needs to be an entertainment company, but needs to take its foot out of its mouth. So crazy. All right, well, that wraps up the video game news stories we've got for you this week. A real quick thank you again, huge thank you actually, to Chad Concelmo. Thank you so much for joining us and hanging out and talking about your awesome new video game, and I can't wait to play more of it. And a huge thank you to James, braving the weather, hanging out with us when you could be swept away by a tornado, but you hung out with us. You talked video games, and it was a pleasure having you as well.
Always a pleasure. Happy to be here.
Well, on behalf of Chad Concelmo, James Schuff, and myself, Dan Whitehill, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And as always, good playing with you.
Good playing with you.